Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. So today I'm hoping that I can just finish off the rest of her clothes, which will coincidentally basically finish off the rest of her. And then I can worry about additional effects and stuff. And good news, I think I fixed my eyes, mostly. I think they look okay now. A little bit wide. I occasionally look a little freaked out, but you know, that's pretty true to real life, so I can tolerate it. Anyway, once again, I have to find it. I wanted to fix this line and shadow here. I still don't think it's quite right. It's okay. I get it. I'll get it eventually. It can't be wrong forever as long as I keep poking at it. So, first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and erase all the little lines here. And then I will worry about, I don't know, just getting it all to look okay. And it just looks blobby and it was bothering me, so I figure I should go fix it. Anything that I can see while being zoomed out is worth touching up, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go touch up these lines because I could indeed see that they weren't quite the way I wanted them to be while I was zoomed out, and then I will come in, let these lines kind of merge together, and then draw this one going out like that. See if I get it right this time. It's okay if I don't. If I don't, I'll just, you know, try again tomorrow. It's fine. Okay, and this does mean that I will change the highlight a little bit too. Oh, do I not have you locked? I don't. That's a problem, so... There we go. Let's lock it and do that again. I do not want the ability to color outside the lines. I abuse the heck out of just the ability to lock transparent pixels. It's so nice. So nice. I mean, you can see how imprecise I'm being, and I'm just like way out here, and it's still just coloring in the lines exactly where I want it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a little better. Yeah, I like it. Okay. So, at the end of last time, I was working on her little waist ribbon. And let me go double check my reference, but I think I might have made it a little bit small. Man, really hard to say. I just really like to make ribbons like that big. So I think I might be mentally exaggerating it, but I do think it is a little bit small. Just a little. I definitely don't want to overdo it. So I gotta be careful. I know my nature. I know that my subconscious is just like, make it bigger. Come on. Do it. Make it so big. But that's not true to the character design. So I gotta keep that impulse reined in. I gotta stay true to the character design. But in this case, I did just think it was a little tiny bit too small. And I do think that looks better. Is it in the right place? Let me go hide some of my various frilly things. There are a lot of them. We have trim here and back arm. Okay, it's a little bit low. I'm glad I checked. Okay, and that does mean that I erased a little bit too much here. I'll go put it back. Probably should have checked whether or not it was high enough before erasing everything, but, oh well. Mistakes were made. It's fine. Oh. No. We don't want to move anything. Alright, just get that edge all nice. I am trying to get it into its final refined state, so I do want it to be fairly clean. And then I'll fix all of that later. Let's put the trim back. The trim's gonna have to move a little bit too. Basically, her lower body I haven't messed around with very much. So, a lot of it is still pretty off. Oh, okay, this is a problem though. So we'll go ahead and clean up the top part here, make sure that it is not running into my trim layer. That's not even a case of I could like switch a layer order or something, have one up or down or what have you. That's just these two things are not supposed to interact. They're not. So I gotta make sure that all is well there. My eyes are still looking slightly in weird directions. Okay. So back to just cleaning the edge here, and I think everything should be fine once I just get that last little bit. Is it up around her waist, or I guess bust well, and all that good stuff? I think so. Now then, another thing that I noticed while I was checking over things before stream here is that I thought that her body here was just a little bit too thin. I think I took a little bit too much when I was refining the armpit yesterday. And I think a couple of little folds just right through here. Right above that little ribbon around her waist. I think will also make things look nice. Like, here should definitely be tight. I just want a little bump here. And maybe just a slight hint of a shadow. I don't want to point in that direction, though. This direction. Yes, this direction is much better. Okay, it needs to be a little bit larger than that, but that's the idea. Just a small hint of a couple of folds here. That might even be too big. I was just looking at her head, and I was realizing that her body seemed a little bit narrow there, even with the kind of perspective that I have on it. So, I figured I should give her a little bit more meat there. But I think with that, everything is looking okay. Let me just check the other side. Yeah, I think so. I keep wanting this to be her waist, so I'm just like, everything seems a little bit thick there. But no, her waist is like over here. Maybe I should go draw that, just so I can verify that I like everything. So let's see. I'm gonna hide the ribbon for a second. And I'm just gonna get the overall shape of everything over here looking the way I want it. I will also hide the trim, just so that this way I can see where her chest is. So then her stomach is gonna be like right around here. And she'll have a waist right around here. Don't want to give her too much of like a barrel chest or anything. So waist about here. And maybe I add just a little bump there. I think that'll look nice. Kind of where her glutes and legs will be. Where they're kind of coming out there. there's the top of her chest. Bring this all down here. Then we'll have, like, hips and stuff here. Waist should be right here. We want to make sure she's got plenty of room for all of her internal organs and whatnot. Or though, I don't know, do ghosts have internal organs? Who knows? Who knows? But regardless, they have the appearance of people with internal organs, so I'll still make sure that there's plenty of room for them in there. And her character type has never struck me as the overly skinny type. So I will make sure that she's not just way too thin. But I think that looks pretty good. Like, I'd never mind all the scribbles and stuff on it, but I think the overall shape looks pretty good. Yeah. Okay, let's go put the ribbon back on, make sure everything is still attached properly. Okay, I erased a little bit too much over here. I also think I killed the folds that I was working on before. Oops. Oh, whoops. It's fine. I'll put them back. And I'll even put a little shadow back in here. I kind of feel like there should be another one. Another little shadow right there. But I actually don't really like the way that looks as much, so maybe the way that I'll do it instead is I'll bring a light out here. Make shadows happen this way. Alright, then I'll put my dark shadows here, and put the trim back on. I'll address the trim on the lower half in a little while. Now it's not really sitting on her properly. Okay, I know exactly how to fix that, though. Just let it wrap around her a little bit more accurately here. I think I can trust what I just drew there. So, I will do it like this. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Sure do. Although, I do think that I want this to dip down a bit more and be a little bit rounder. I know what I'm talking about. It's okay. I'll do the top half first. This does mean I'm going to be messing stuff up again, but you know, what else is new? Happens all the time. We'll just be cutting through where I put some stuff yesterday. And then I'll fix it all up. Okay, but I do think that looks better. It looks a little bit more like it's sitting on her bust there. Okay, and before I clean this up, I want to make sure that I like my shadows over here, because right now I kind of don't, actually. Oh, no, I definitely need to be drawing on the right layer, though. Ah, shoot. Very important to draw the right layer here, because I am relying heavily on locking transparent pixels, which basically means that, you know, when I try to draw outside of them, it doesn't work. And it makes it nice and easy to stay within the areas that I already drew. So if I have things that don't belong there on the layer, then I can't do that anymore, and that makes me sad. It makes my life much harder, so I gotta take care. Gotta take care. I'll add the shadows from the strings back later. I know they're going to exist, so it's fine. I can just clear them until I'm satisfied with the rest of the folds everywhere. I think most of what I'm going to do with the darkest parts here are going to be gradients. So I'll go ahead and kind of lessen the super dark areas. Hide or trim again. Give myself a better feel for where her chest is. Should be something like this. I'll go ahead and put the shadows from the various other parts back in once I'm happy. Okay, this is just me realizing that I didn't like a large portion of my shadows. And when that happens, about the only thing you can do is get rid of everything distracting you and just figure out where the basic things should be, and then I can go back and add the details. It's fine. It's totally fine. Let's make this area a little darker. No, I changed my mind. I want it to be like this. Once I saw it, I was like, nah, I had it right. I had it right. Okay, that's from the collar, so that shouldn't be like super dark. And I want to bring in some folds from this side from her arm being raised. Okay, that seems pretty good. Let's go put the trim back on, and now I will take care of any cast shadows from, you know, the collar, the frills here. Just all these nice things, and now I can get that. I think I'll just do all of the folds from, or the shadows from these guys a little bit later. I'll do those right before the end. I think that will be easier than doing them now. I just had them there before because I was testing something. Getting a feel for where I was going to put shadows and whatnot. You'll find that I do that a lot, where I just plop something down just to see if I'll like it. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's not a big deal either way. I just need to see it. And then once I do see it, then I will know. And I can decide to keep it, or I can decide to do something else. Nice and straightforward. We good? I think we're good. I think that looks pretty good. Alright, let's go back to the ribbon. Let's see, I still think that the outline of it is looking pretty good. So I just need to go back and correct everything I just broke by trying to do something. Once again, really got to pay attention to that outer edge. Get it nice and smooth. And then I can plop the shadow on there. Okay. And then I just need to get the shadow from this back on. Looks like he's doing something like this, which, you know, looks fine to me, so I'll let it keep doing that. Put the highlight back on. Then I have a shadow over here. And the shadow over here, where it connects. And we have this big ol' knot thing. I have the right color here. Looks like it's a little off. Oh, this is fine. So it goes like this. I think this actually needs to come up a little. So I can't lock it just yet. This needs to come up here just a touch. Because I did kind of mess things up. Get this shape to be the way I want it to be. Fill in the bottom here. It'll look strange for a little while longer. That's okay. And then I think I actually want this ribbon to be just a little bit lower. So I break everything again, as I do. And I can just, I just repair it. No big deal. Definitely not the end of the world. I feel like that's something pretty important when making something. It's like, if it's wrong, it's wrong. Don't be afraid of breaking things. It's all right. It can be fixed. It's not even all that hard to fix it. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good for that one. And then I just slightly adjust the shadows here, and all is well. We're looking good. I think we're looking good. Maybe the center part is a little bit too big. But, yeah, it's a little bit too big. Fix the bottom here, just improve the angle a little bit. This does mean I'll have to kind of go over everything around the edge again, which is unfortunate. But I wouldn't want to leave it super blurry like it is now. Liquify does indeed tend to make things pretty blurry. But I still find it easier than trying to feel out these edges myself. Let me liquefy everything into place and then go over it. It's so much easier. So much easier. How's that? Oh yeah, that is so much better. I think this might be a little bit long now. Yeah, I think it's a bit long. Probably to right about there. And then I just, you know, put in the bottom again. It's fine. The proportions on this ribbon is just wrecking my brain for some reason. Brains, man, they're the worst. The absolute worst. But it's alright, I'll get through it. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's looking a lot better. I don't even think this is too big anymore. It's kind of big, but it was kind of big in the original too, so. Alright, let's go clean this up. I'm gonna clean it up at 100%. This way I'm not feeling super inclined to just get in there and fixate on unimportant things. Because I will, if I allow myself. I will. I'll just sit there and render things for probably way longer than I need to if I zoom in too much. Okay, but I do see a little spot in the edge that needs a little bit of extra care. Okay, there we go. Care granted. Now I go back to just being careful, but not necessarily getting super stuck on everything. Okay, I'll put that highlight back in a second. Kind of want to get the shadows around here first, and then I can just... I don't know. What kind of folds does this make anyway? So it looks like it's kind of square. Trying to look at her art from a lot of the fighting games and stuff, as the art there tends to be a little bit more clear. So hoping it'll give me some idea of what that looks like. I can't think of the technical term, so I can't really look up real-life references. Okay. Looking at her fighting game sprites, it looks like I can just treat it like a fairly normal ribbon. Got it. Alright, so that means I can probably just get something like this. Let it be nice and round. Make it look like a nice little candy wrapper. Nice and cute. Okay. So, yeah, I'll just... Since these are the same color, I kind of need to make sure that there's a little bit of a shadow around it. I guess I don't, since I will be putting a line around it at some point. Yeah, that's right. I have the advantage of lines and all this. Feels weird, and this is wrong. Okay. I'm gonna reshade that, because it was wrong. It was totally wrong. And now I can get it looking a little bit nicer. Anyway, the dark spot should be here. And that's where I had the highlight before, so... that was definitely no good. I'll put the highlight over here this time. And then just get all the other folds and stuff in there. This should be fine. Alright, let's neaten this up a little. I've kind of gotten all my ideas down now, so I can just make sure that everything will be as I want it to be for the final version. Actually, I'm going to be putting lines on this. I shouldn't be going super deep into cleaning, huh? Okay, that's good enough then. This is where I want everything, so I can stop there. Let's see, any other shadows or highlights I want? I guess I'll put a little highlight here. I think that'll look nice. Does it look nice? No, it doesn't look nice. Okay. I leave it there then. Let's go ahead and add the other decorations. So that'll be the white color, and pull up the reference here and make sure that I have all the details in the right spot. So we have a kind of white thing going down the middle. It's pretty thin. No, that's no good. I needed to follow the curvature of the waist here, of what I had drawn before, and you can see I'm drawing it too big. I'm going to get the thickness that I want, and then I'll erase on the sides. But right now I'm kind of making sure that I get the overall curve right, and the overall thickness right. And if I worry about the length at the same time, I will drive myself crazy. There we go, I think that's correct. It will be a little bit longer than the ribbon here. It's going to kind of stick out from it. Because as far as I can tell, it's something like tied onto it or sitting on top, as opposed to a color or dye on the ribbon itself. So it's something sitting there as opposed to part of the ribbon itself. The distinction there is important, because if it's something sitting on top, it'll have a bit of its own thickness. Whereas if it was like a dye on the ribbon, then I could just keep it on the ribbon itself. I wouldn't need this little extra bit coming off. Alright. And I just clear the part that's got to go underneath the ribbon. This layer has to be on top, and I drew all of this on the same layer, so I just got to do it like that. That's not right. Okay, this is a job for the liquefy tool. There we go. Yep, that's much better. Okay, seems good. And let's see. Is that better? No, not quite. I mean, it's better, yes, but this side needs to come up a little bit more. It's better, but not perfect. And thus, I work on it a little bit more. I always like spending a little bit of extra time on these things that are like going down the middle of something and really following the curvature, because I feel like getting them right really helps to make things feel a little bit more real and three-dimensional. And when you get them wrong, it's going to totally throw off your perspective. So I think it's worth just spending a little bit of extra time on that. And that I think looks pretty good. Well, does it? I keep looking at it and then changing my mind. But yes, it's in the right spot. I just didn't have the right angle at the very top. Alright, then we got some frills and some more little ribbon going in and out there. I'll do the frills first. Once again, I'm just going to kind of fake it and hope for the best. How do they attach exactly? It looks like they just sit underneath. So I'll just go and erase when I'm all done. Where's my dark white color? This is probably a pretty safe source. Okay. I'll just draw a little pattern like this and call it good. Let it come off here, and there we go. And I'll just fill in the colors. Decide how I want the edge of the ribbon to look. Make sure it is attaching to the ribbon. All the usual good stuff. I think it looks pretty frilly. Yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine indeed. Just touch up a few places as I go. Yeah, there we go. Go ahead and put the basic folds in first. There we go. And yeah, I think I'll finish this one before I go on to the next one. So this one's going down. This one's going down. There's going to be a little shadow on the very edge because strictly speaking, this is actually underneath the ribbon, even though I'm drawing the frills on top. But in terms of what's actually happening in her clothes, this is underneath this. Okay. And then we just have this guy here that's going to be a little bit darker. And from there, I can just put my extra little folds here. Okay. There we go. That's some nice looking frills. I think that's about all it needs. That should look just fine. Okay, now I'll do the same on the other side. No problem. So I'll start right here, kind of let it come on up, and then I'll just draw a squiggly line. Kind of following the path that I have set out here. Be nice and squiggly. This one might be too large. Let's fill it in and take a look. I'll liquefy as necessary. Yeah, maybe a little bit too large. Let me attach it to the ribbon and then I'll go ahead and move the frills themselves around. But having this area accurate, I think will help me move those frills around. So I'll go ahead and get that first. Yeah. just trying to get the outside mostly. I like my inside part, so I don't want to move it any more than I have to. So being very careful. There we go, that's much better. Like, look how kind of big and poofy they were out there. Now it's following the contour of the ribbon much better. Much better. Okay. Straighten it out, and then I'll go ahead and add shadows. I don't like the lack of peaks and valleys in this, so I'm kind of making sure that there's space between each frill. And that it's more like, you know, this instead of this. Okay, I'll put in my basic shadows now. And then I'll fill in the areas that are kind of, well, supposed to be a little shadowed. Yeah, there we go. And after that, I just got the little threaded ribbon going through there. Okay, seems good. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Threaded ribbon time. All right. So that's gonna be, let's see, about how big are they? Thin, but long. So I think it'll look something like this. I will try to follow the curvature of the ribbon that I already drew here. And these are small, so I'll just be neat as I go. Get everything pretty clean. Stuff like this is not exactly hard to draw, so I can just go. And I think this looks like it's attached and kind of inside of the ribbon. So I am satisfied. This is exactly why I didn't mind cleaning it up as I go. I did not think it would take any extra effort to do so. Okay, and to the other side. I'll just shade them all together. Because they're all going to be pretty straightforward. Nothing much to. There. See, nice and simple. But I always like adding little details like this. I do think that they make things look better. kind of breaks up some of the colors in the character design here. Like, if you remember what this ribbon looked like before I added all these details, it's definitely way more interesting now. Way more interesting. Because now we got some light color, breaking up all the dark colors here. And this ribbon around her waist made her look more interesting too, because a lot of her character design is very light. So having this area where there's a dark part is helpful. Alright, let's go ahead and shade all the ones that are going to be in the dark part over here too. Haven't forgotten about that area. And there we go. I think it's ready for lines. I'll go ahead and do the decorations first because I feel like it. Okay, grab my white line, which I am actually pretty sure is just white, but it's fine. Lock transparency, and I'll just go over it. I've already got everything drawn at this point, so this is just the finishing touch, and you can see that the lines here very thin. They're going to be thicker on the belt here. Man. Yep, I still having a bit of trouble. It's okay. This time I think that's less of a rigging issue and more of a weird calibration thing, so that'll be easier to fix. At the very least, I stopped my eyes from going like this all the time. They are no longer panicking. Actually, the way I fixed that was kind of funny because I remembered with the way that I rigged the blink is that I did indeed put the blink on a higher value. So my blink goes from 0 to 1.2 or 1.5. I can't remember. Can't remember which. And I had it only, the tracking input, it was only acknowledging 0 to 1. So I had to raise that a little bit and make it acknowledge the extra 0.5 or so that I put on it. And once I did, my eyes just no longer looked like that they were freaking out. I no longer looked constantly surprised. Now I just think there's always something behind me. I just think it's funny how much changing my values a little bit changed everything about how I calibrate and stuff. Because it is different. I do have to put my head in a slightly different position now, and there are shenanigans. But on the bright side, I can frown now. I mean, look. I can get so sad. Before I fixed all the settings, I could not really get frowning to work. But now all is well. And I can do these things, and it makes me happy. It makes me happy that I can be sad. Like, it's important to have both happiness and sadness in your life. Experience all the things. Don't run away from the sads. Yeah, you know, I think about it like this, is that if humans didn't want to experience sadness, we'd never watch sad movies. Kind of the same with fear. If humans on some level didn't want to experience fear, nobody would watch horror movies. But there is something great within it, deep within our psyches that wants to experience all the emotions. And I think that's why people, when they don't have problems in their real life, will make up problems. Because we want to experience all of our emotions. Oh shoot, I'm drawing on the wrong layer again. Oh well. I don't really feel like going back and fixing it, so that one just has some of its lines on the wrong layer, and hopefully I don't have to go back and fix it at some point. Look, I just wanted to experience some mild sadness there. It's fine. Oh yes, unironically. I do think people want to experience the full range of their emotions, you know. If there's something that you want to do, but it stresses you out and makes you sad sometimes, good. You're doing the right thing. Embrace it. Don't avoid the pain, embrace the pain. It'll be okay. I missed a shadow right here. There we go. I want all of those to be in the same line. Let's go ahead and get the lines up here before I go ahead and correct all the colors on those lower parts. I just don't feel like having to come back to this layer. Or just these little guys here. Okay, there we go. And now I can fix all this. And then everything will be perfect. Yeah, I think that's fine. Last little bit here. Just gotta give this guy its little line. Again, a fairly thin one. This one just needs the slightest hint of line. Slightest hint of shadows and stuff too. There. And okay, that's some details done. Let's get the ribbon itself. I'll go ahead and grab it from the fan. That's a nice big thick area. This one's going to be a bit thicker. Yeah, this one I want to be pretty thick. This is an area that I think is doing a great job separating her like top and lower halves, so I want it to be a little bit more noticeable. Assuming I can draw today. Hand not on point. It's okay. It's generally on point maybe 50% of the time. And I appreciate those few times where everything is just working out. I always like to try to do as much drawing as possible during those days. Alright, I'm just starting with the outline here. And now I guess it's time to get those ribbons. So even though this is technically in the middle of it all, this is the outer part of something. Therefore, it gets thick, juicy lines. Not thin ones. Very thick ones. I'm basically treating this as though it's separate, even though it is technically on the same layer. I just, you know, didn't need another layer to draw all this. So I didn't make it one. Okay, and then I'll get the outer part of this, and after I have the outer parts good, I'll go in and clean up the inner parts. I'm gonna start from this edge here. There we go. Okay. Let's get some thinner lines here, while I outline all the shadows. Yeah, perfect. See, this is why I didn't spend a bunch of time cleaning up where I was putting all my shadows, because, you know, I knew this would happen. I think I even said as much. Okay. I do want to clean up a few of these lines, though. I think them crossing over like that doesn't look very good. But it's easier to draw them like that and then just go back and erase. Alright. Now I can clean up the colors properly. And it'll be nice and straightforward because I already know where everything sits. So I can just do it based on that. Oh yeah, and I need to get here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the ribbons. I've already started. Hopefully I won't forget that I didn't need to go back and do that. I don't know, that sounds like something I'd do. Oh yeah, and I didn't get here either. Oops. Man, I'm just too excited to get these ribbons right. Okay. And I'll get the stuff over here. And indeed, the line means that I don't really feel like I need shadows there. I will put some shadows down here, though. I think that looks nice. Oh, and this little guy did not get lined at all. There. Okay, there we go. We got a ribbon. Okay, and I think I already have kind of most of the outline here okay. But now I can safely go in and just do the rest of her clothes in the upper body here. I'm going to shade over here first. And once all that's good, I'm gonna go in and add the cast shadow from this ribbon here. So I think that'll be easier than trying to get it all at once. Okay, so get all the stuff from shadows here. I think this is a little far away. That's kind of the funny thing about shadows, is that if the thing in shadow is, or the thing casting the shadow is nearby, the shadow gets farther away and blurrier. You can, test this with your hand against a wall. If your hand is right up against the wall, it gets darker and thinner. And if your hand is far away from the wall, it gets more spread out and lighter. It'll also be farther away from your hand, relatively speaking. So light is neat like that. I do want a shadow over here, but I think I'm going to make it a gradient. So the things that I'm actually noting as dark like this are things that I think are just very specifically making shadows. So in this case, it's the fold in her dress making the shadow. So I'm trying to be very, very deliberate about that. So once again, there's a fold in her dress here that's making a shadow. So that's why this gets drawn dark. And I'll use gradients for the rest of various hints of shadow and stuff. Lighting is neat. Okay. Let's see, how's this looking so far? Is that doing what I want it to do? I think so. I think it's making her chest look like it's, well, coming out of her chest. Alright, let's get this area nice and smooth now. Go ahead and make sure that all the dark areas under her collar are the way that I want them to be. And here I'm very much trying to pay attention to where my light source is. It's kind of above her. There we go. See, I knew that area would go pretty fast once I got to it. Let's see, do I want to put the lines on it now? I think so. I think I will. And I even already have a color picked out because I needed it for the sleeve. So this one's going to be interesting. Definitely want a thick line. But this is one that needs also kind of show where the folds in her dress are going. And some of those are going to be a little bit thinner. Here, I'm not quite happy with how I tapered that off. And for most of the time when I draw lines, with this style at least, I try to keep them a fairly consistent width, but I don't think that makes sense here. So that's why I said these lines, they're a little bit special. They're doing something a little bit different than what some of my other lines are doing. And actually with that, I want to change how I drew this. There we go. And then while I'm here, I'll go ahead and add the tiny line here that I know I'm going to want. I'll just go ahead and do it now. No reason not to. Okay. So let's see. So that's that edge. I actually do not think that up here has an edge. Maybe just a tiny one. We'll go ahead and put a line there. I think the line is a little bit thick around her armpit here. Okay, there we go. So now I just have this side. I might have to... Oh, no, actually, I think I did a pretty okay job on her sleeve there. I was gonna say, I remember not being really sure what I was doing with this. So I was pretty sure I was gonna have to go and redraw it, but no, now that I look at it, I think it's fine. Line seems okay, but the area seems a little bit blobby. Let me just go ahead and touch this up right here. Okay. I think that's all it needed. Then I touch up the lines a bit. I want this to kind of come up here. There we go. And I'll put a couple of indications of folds in up here. This is just folds on her sleeve. You know what? I think that's the only one needed. I think the second one that I put in was accurate, but I think it straight up looks better like this. That area doesn't need a lot of detail. Alright. I'm gonna hide the ribbon sitting on her collar for a moment. I just want to... I wasn't quite satisfied with how some stuff around here was looking. You can see these are all a little bit blobby. So I'll go ahead and finish the main shadows here before I go ahead and start adding the shadows from the ribbon. And it just helps to be able to see what I'm doing before I go and do anything like that. Okay, there we go. Now let's turn the ribbon back on. And in my head, it's pretty far away. So I'll make sure that there's some distance there, and now I just go put it in. I'll have to touch up the darkest parts, but I figure as long as the lightest parts are all where they should be, then I can cut through that safely, and I'll just go put these dark parts back in where they belong. Okay. And now I can go and line the shadows with the usual thin lines around it. Man, I'm actually surprised I was able to get that all the same width there. And I'm gonna need a lot of my focus for this line, so here we go. Dialing in. There. Phew. And now I just have to do that a bunch more times. I can change those lines a little bit, but I don't want to change them too much. I do think I have them at about the right place. Okay, next one. And I'll just keep going around. Drawing long lines like this I still find pretty difficult, so gotta think about it. Very important. Okay. So I guess I'm going back this way. So I guess I'm taking a break from doing those long, thin lines. You know, sounds fine to me. The ones over here are a little bit easier. I feel like I got a little bit more wiggle room. And if I don't get them right, it's not really the end of the world. Whereas those I actually want to trace pretty closely. But here it's like, if I don't get it right, I just change where I put the color and it's fine. It's totally fine. I think this is kind of an interesting looking shadow shape though, and I'm glad I was able to make it. Look at it, just going all the way around like that, and with all these little spots in here. I think it looks cool. Shapes make me happy. It's funny, earlier today, I was listening to Painter. This was still a digital painter, but his style looked a lot more like traditional painting. Versus, you know, the anime stuff that I like to do. And he was talking about edges. And was just saying that it's good to vary the type of edges that you have. And if you're going for something that looks like an oil painting, you know, that's probably accurate. But I just looked at it, I'm just like, I don't know, everything looks so blurry. And it wasn't my taste, and I'm just here looking at, I think what I like, he likes edges, but I think what I like is shapes. So that's why I think I like especially clear edges. Because that makes the shapes more visible. And I think shapes are cool. So everyone has their own kind of taste. I was just looking at some of the examples that he was using of how to vary the edges and whatnot, and I was like, man, but that's totally taking away from the shapes. And when I think of pictures that I really like, they are indeed ones with extremely clear shapes, which also means extremely clear edges. So I just thought that was interesting, listening to him talk about what he liked about art and things that you could do to improve if you wanted to draw more in the realm of his tastes. I thought it was really interesting of just how much of it I disagreed with. Just due to my own taste. Art is weird like that. I really do think it's funny, because there are a lot of things that you can teach people that will objectively, like, doesn't matter what style, doesn't matter what they want to make. There are things you can teach people that will just make them better at drawing and creating whatever it is that they want to do. And then there's some things there that are just extremely subjective, that do depend heavily on taste and what you're trying to accomplish. Art is just very interesting, and I do like seeing other people's perspectives. I remember I was having a conversation with someone a couple of days ago about generally disliking doing lines. And I do, but I really do like a lot of the art of people that focus very heavily on their line work and that kind of thing. Like, some people do really amazing things with it. Truly. Like, I am always so impressed. It's so cool, and I love it. But I wouldn't make it like that myself. And I think it's cool that we can have all these different ideas kind of come together. It makes me happy. Actually, no, I think I'm just gonna do it with the gradient. Okay. Speaking of gradients, let's go ahead and start adding some. So I think that's looking pretty good. Get her back arm done too today, hopefully. So the big one that I wanted to do was down at the bottom here. With the darkest color, just make the area kind of by her ribbon here at the bottom a little bit darker. Oh no, I don't have the layer locked. Oh, that's bad. Let's see, how far back do I have to go? Only to here. Okay, cool. We're good. I noticed quickly enough that the crisis has been averted. Okay. And then I think I want another one up here, but I want this one to be light. Ah, shoot. I think that'll be okay. We're about to find out. If it's not okay, I'll go back and fix it. It's fine. Okay. This is fine. I do need to go back and fix the color here, though. I do not want that to have any lightness to it at all. Because, yeah, it selected a bunch of this area, unfortunately. It's alright. I'll just go back and color it all in. No big deal. Oh, I'm surprised it's selected over here, too. Maybe it would have been easier to do something else then. Oh well. Too late now. Okay, I think I want a little bit over there. Kind of the corner by the armpit. Okay, and then a little bit... Oh, I drew that in the wrong layer. I would rather not. Where's my freehand selection? Okay. Right here. Okie dokie. And now I can select over there. Okay. Okay, I think that's our chest area totally done. So once I get her arm here, that'll be her entire upper body. So let's go do that. I'm just taking a look at her lower body here and figuring out what I want to do with that. I think it'll be mostly fun once I get the trim in the right place. The main thing I don't like about it is this just... It's not nearly flowy enough. Anyway, back arm first. Oh yeah, that's right. I also have the thing coming off her hat that I need to draw at some point. You know what? I'm gonna do that first. Let me take another look at what that looks like. It's just a little veil coming off here, so I guess I'll do something like... I don't know. Yeah, sure. Seems good to me. And I'll just make it my darkest color. Okay, middle darkest. And it's not transparent or anything, so I can go ahead and leave it the solid color. I'll go ahead and add a little fold there just to make it look a little bit more interesting, and then I'll add the line. I almost forgot about this. And then I guess there's also the big bow on the back of her that I had hidden. I'll go ahead and make that visible. This is just kind of in the back, so I'll use kind of a medium line. And I'm just drawing it on the same layer here because it's fine. Okay. Alright, there we go. Let's see now. Back to the back arm. And yeah, I still think that looks fine there. It might be a little bit big and in the wrong place, but... Okay, how do I want to tackle this? I guess I'll go ahead and start with the ribbon back here. This is sticking pretty far back behind there, so I'll move it a little bit closer. Or... No, I don't think it needs to move closer. I think what needs to happen is that the top frilly thing, so this part here, just needs to be more sticking into it. Let me just fill in this area. I'll go ahead and shape the frilly thing then. It's not going to have a lot of detail on it or anything, so this is fine. Okay, I just don't like it. I'm gonna go ahead and figure out the general gist of where I want it to go, and then I'll put the frills on at the end. I was making this too complicated for my poor little brain. One thing at a time. Oh, what are you? Why can't I draw here? Are you some residue from the clothes? Okay, no, you're some residue from this. There we go. Okay, that seems good. And now I'll just go put a little bit of frilly stuff on it. They're going to be small because this entire thing is just disappearing into the background. Seems fine to me. All right. Now I'll just get this guy wrapping around her arm a little bit better. And once I'm satisfied with that, I will go ahead and cut into it a little bit to represent where this frilly thing is sitting on top. Okay. Time to cut in. Seems good to me. All right. So that's making her arm kind of go back a little bit more. And I do think I will put this, the white trim on a separate layer. I think that'll give me a little bit of an easier time when it comes time to outline. Okay. But I think that the shape of this is fine. So I'll just clean it up as is. I think this might actually be the only edge that is actually visible. Yeah. And I'll just go ahead and put the lines on before I clean it up. So I'm going to get rid of all the blue parts here. No blue allowed. We'll do the same over here. And I will put all of that on at the end. There we go. All gone. All gone. Let's see, how do I have this going here? So this is... Yeah, this is coming up, so it'll be like this. And this will come down here. Cut into it like that, and continue on like here. The colors are going to be wrong for a little bit, but, you know, it's fine. Don't worry about it. That is stuff for the me of, you know, like 5 minutes from now to fix up. I feel like I have all this reversed, actually. Yes, I very much do. Okay. Dark part comes up here. Light part comes down here. Yes? Yes. I have to always verify these things because... I don't know. Sometimes my brain thinks something and then just does the exact opposite. Wouldn't be surprised if it was somewhat related to dyslexia. But it's why sometimes I have issues with drawing things backwards. Happens all the time. It's really annoying. Like, sometimes I can understand it with, like, hands. Because oftentimes I'm using my own hand as a reference. And so I'm just there looking at it. And because I'm facing the opposite direction of the viewer, when it comes to looking at my own hand, a lot of the time I draw it backwards. Like, that makes sense to me. But then there's other times where I'm just like, why did I draw that backwards? How does that even make sense? What happened here? And that's a little bit more annoying. All right, let's go ahead. Put the shadows in. Looks good to me. All right, let's go ahead and put in some lines. And then this sleeve is also going to need its little cherry blossoms and stuff, but I'll go ahead and add those later. I just want to get the trim in. I just want to do it. I'm on a roll, so let's just keep it going. I say this, but then, as always, I find a couple of things that I just need to touch up. That I am not quite satisfied with. I thought this area was a little bit thin, so I'm kind of making it a little bit thicker. There we go. Easier to do it like that all in one stroke and then fix the colors afterward than interrupt myself and put the colors on immediately. Okay. Back to line. Hehe. These ones, I guess this thickness is okay. Yeah, should be fine. This isn't like super skinny, but it's not like super thick either. So I think this should work out just fine. I don't want the lines here to be too thick. This is just in the background, so I kind of wanted to just get out of the way. Okay. Sure, we'll go ahead and put in the interior lines. All right. Here's the back arm. Go ahead and get his lines in too. And just let all of this get done. Oh, that's way too thick. And this should line up here. Okie dokie. All right. Let's see. Some spots here got a little bit wonky looking. Okay. I think that's fine. I just need to go through and clean up colors a little bit. And actually right here too needs a little bit more just so that this way those lines are connected a little bit better. There. Okay. And I think that looks pretty nice. I think I'm going to go ahead and put the lines on the frilly thing here before I go in and add the rest of the decorations. Okay. This I'm gonna, once again, keep fairly thin, because this is something both delicate that is supposed to be kind of be going into the background, but I will add some, a few additional lines just to make it clear that there are frills here. Make them a little bit more visible. But I'm not going to do anything very special for them. They're not going to get any special shading or anything, just some indications that frills exist. And there we go. Okay, that's all the lines there. Let's go ahead and put in the other decorations. So let's see, what's there? Just the blue lines and the little flower petals. Yep. Seems about right. Okay. Just wanted to take one last look at everything. I'll go ahead and just use this layer because I don't feel like making a new one. So I got the blue line at the base here. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I forgot that it actually, oops. Maybe I didn't need that line at all then. Okay. The downside of not doing all the pieces first. I will try to draw this carefully then. How did I do it over here? What color were you? Oh, did I use a color that light? That doesn't seem right. Let me go back up there, because that does not seem quite right. That's this layer. This should have been this color. Yeah, 100%. That's already better. Okay, so I did keep you the lighter color, but that's because I made the entire thing the lighter color. So I should think consciously about this decision. So yes, basically trying to sum up my rambling here. I made a mistake and didn't make this the correct color. So now I'm debating on this line on the edge. Should it be this color? Or should it be the same color as the rest of the sleeve trim here? And right now I'm kind of thinking that it really should be this color. At least on the parts that are actually blue. On the parts that are not, it can stay the brighter white color. Let me take a look and see how that actually looks. That does seem better. Okay. So yes, I will indeed. Back to the back arm. I will indeed do it like that. I think that makes more sense. So I'm just going to cover up the line that I did there. Very sad, but it's fine. In my art career, I hope to draw many more lines, so it's fine to cover up some like this. It is for the best. And I want this line to be kind of thin, because I want to make it look like everything is receding into the background. And so when I go and add the second line here, the same thing's going to happen. They're going to be a little bit closer together than you might think that they should be. Because they are just receding into the background. And if you're ever driving down the street and you see, like, street lights or power lines and stuff, look at how close together they look when you look over the horizon. Like, your brain will immediately interpret them as being the same distance apart. Because, you know, they are. They're measured to be the same distance apart. But look at how much closer together they appear. It's very interesting. All the shortcuts that our brain takes in order to not go insane. Brains are pretty wild. Wild and huge liars. This one is too thick. Which means that I think that the one that I put above is a little bit too far away for the effect that I'm going for. Trying to make sure that the blue part here actually covers all the white part that I did before, so I'm being very particular about its location. Very, very particular. Okay, now I'll push this a little bit closer. Fortunately, I think I can keep most of the same line there, and I need to push this corner down. Let it wrap around that sleeve properly. There we go. See, no problem. And now that I think about it, I don't actually have any, like, really dark shadows for this. So I guess I might just add a couple more little light spots here and there. We'll see. Let me make sure it's clean before I do anything else. I'm gonna clean it out 100% here. So this is... I just don't want it to look bad, and right now it looks kind of bad. Yeah, I think that's about right. Is it too close together? I think it... Yeah, I think it's a little too close together. Changed my mind. Changed my mind again. It's a little too close together. I want it to look like they're about the same distance as it is here, and I think this is more accurate. Come on. What are you doing? Let me pan. Thank you. I needed to scroll, man! Why'd you get stuck? Now I'm just gonna work out all the blobs. I don't know. When I zoomed out and looked at it, it looked pretty bad. I cleaned up as much as I could from 100%, but I was having trouble with certain parts, so... Zooming in. Get those parts clean. Okay. And you know, I don't actually think that needs shading. I think that's fine. So let's see. Back. arm trim decor. All right. I'm gonna have to change the color of the trim here so that this way I can know where these little petals are supposed to go. Because otherwise I'm not gonna be able to see a thing. Because they're the same color. I'll just draw a few things here and there. And I'll call it good. Just matching the general style as on the original. Not doing anything too fancy here. Okay, let me just make sure those edges are nice. I think they're all looking pretty nice here. And then I will put the small little slit that's supposed to go into each of these, and there we go. Okay. All is well. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the lines on the same layer here. I always like to put things on a different layer when I'm afraid of messing it up. But man, for this, and I think the lines on this blue part here, I just don't think it's necessary. It gives me a bit more freedom, but I don't need it. I don't. This is fine. Okay, there's that. Let's go ahead and get the trim back to be the right color instead of this hideous yellow. Much better. Much better. Oh yeah, I didn't actually color the petals, did I? Oops. Well that's unfortunate because I drew the lines on already. If you ever wondered why I normally draw the lines on a separate layer, well, here you go. It means that if I mess things up, I have an easier time. It's fine. I might have to go back and redo a few lines, but there aren't that many. So it'll be okay. Okay. Now these guys need their lines. Gotta keep them fairly thin. I don't think I need big chunky lines here. And that'll be it for the back arm. I think that is all of its details. Her hand is covered by the sleeve. So I don't have to draw it. Then we'll go into her lower body. I think I'm gonna save. That will probably be the last thing on the character that I draw. I still do have a couple more things to draw once I finish the character, though. Like, I have a couple little ghosts going around her. And I want to draw some butterflies. Alright, there we go. Got a nice sleeve. Got a nice upper body. I think that's everything there. Let me... Well, I do have to do the pattern on the kimono. But I think I'm going to save that for when I do her lower body too. Yep, that is everything. Most excellent. Alright. So I just got her lower body here. Where's my cursor? There it is. It's disappearing on me for a second. Extremely rude. Alright. Just gotta think about what I want to do here. I feel like the location of the center of her body has changed since I first did this. Probably means I should have adjusted here too, but shh. It's fine. Okay. So this layer doesn't have lines on it yet, so should be pretty safe for me to just adjust it directly. There we go. I think I want it to be a little bit thicker than this. I will just try to get that thickness via liquefy. It's fine. I can do it. Okay. And now this is where I have... So I think I have that in a good spot. I think that the shape of her body near her torso and everything is fine. Where does that big ribbon go anyway? I think it's a little too low. I'm not going to do a lot with this big ribbon yet. But I do want it to be in the right spot. Okay. And I don't like this at all. Let me just draw something super basic. It comes out the backside, right? Yeah. So it's gonna be like that. What kind of base do you have? It's very ribbony. So it'll be something like this. I still don't like it. Look, it's very important that I get all these things right. I gotta get them done in a way that makes me happy. Otherwise, I'll just look at the picture and be sad, and that would be sad. So I'll just spend a little time getting it right. Maybe I should just make these separate layers, I don't know. With as much as I'm moving this around. I'm gonna go put it over there for a second. I got to do this eventually, so it's fine. I can just kind of get it now. I have an idea in my head. I'm trying to realize it here. And I think it's working. So I am pleased. What I had before was just kind of a placeholder until it was time to draw it in earnest, and I think that time is now. The lines in the original are a bit stiffer and straighter. So let me kind of get that too. There we go. I think that looks like what was going on back there. So now I can go ahead and put this little guy on. And coming off the back here. Maybe I will just put you on a different layer. I don't feel like going and reconstructing all that. I'll just make it black for now. I'll fix the colors when it comes time to actually render this out. And I'll just leave them separated for now. Get the size right. Because it is pretty big. And I also like making very big bows. So. Okay. Yeah, that looks better. Alright. That wasn't what I was planning to do there, but... well, it had to be done eventually, so this works out. This works out fine. Oh yeah, the back of the collar. Do I have the lines drawn there? I do. Okay. So now I can play with this trim a little bit. So I just wasn't quite happy with how it was floofing around. And I think I know what I want to do with it. I think I want this to come off here. Because right now I have the entirety of this little flaps silhouette inside of the rest of the dress. And I think that's making it look less flippy. So let's bring it out a bit and let it flip even more. Okay. And then on the clothes layer, I'm going to go and take this thing that I drew before and move it up here. Look, it's going to look ugly for a second. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's part of the process. Maybe I should put that in a separate layer too, actually. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. You will be close flippy. Okay. There we go. So now I just have that flippy part there. And it'll be great. Trust me. I actually already like the way this looks much better than what I had before. That's right. You're not close flippy, you're trim. You dictate the location of the close flippy, but you are not in and of yourself a close flippy. Okay. Oh good, and I did get most of it. But I want to get more of it. This entire thing is going to be flippy. Okay. So now I can go and reconnect the clothes in peace. Gonna hide the trim just so I can see, and I can get this part looking the way I want. I'll worry about all the shadows and stuff in a little bit. It's not really important yet. What's important is that I get all these pieces the way I want them, and then I can go ahead and draw the rest of her kind of underskirt thing. You're not part of the clothes, huh? You're part of the back. So I have a separate layer for the just back of everything. I'm gonna go ahead and hide it for a little bit. I'll go ahead and make the darkest part this color. Just to separate it from the back a little bit. Okay. So let's see, I think on the flippy, I accidentally pulled this part out, and I don't think I want to. So I'm gonna erase a bunch of this stuff. Have some proper layer separation here, and that will go back onto the clothes. Because this point just kind of represents she has like a split going down the kimono here, and this is where that split is happening. So I want part of it to go this way and continue on down here, and then I want part of it to flip over here. And I can trust the ribbon. The ribbon I got looking exactly the way I wanted it, so all is well there. And then there's this little kind of white thing that she's wearing underneath. So now I can get that location just right. I think it probably goes all the way over here. I'll just make it a little straighter. Maybe have it end under the flowers there somewhere. Sounds good to me. Alright. Now I'm just going to do a little bit more shaping until I'm happy. This is basically just perfecting the curve. And doing whatever it takes to finish everything off. And I'm not too worried, like, I put a little blob on there accidentally, but it's fine. What I'm doing here does not mind there being a blob there. It only minds that I get the shape that I'm going for here the way that I want it. And this seems fine. Okay. But yes, I greatly approve of the flippy bit being over here. I really do. Okay. So I think this is all the general shape and stuff done. How do I feel about the underside here? Let's get that flippy looking a little bit nicer here. The colors and stuff are probably going to have to change. That's expected. I'm just not worried about it yet. I'm just trying to get the general shape. I mentioned earlier that I enjoy shapes. Shapes are cool. So I just want to make sure that all the shapes that I'm drawing are very clear. Because that's what I enjoy. I'm going to invert these colors just so I can see a little bit better. So we'll go into ugly yellow mode for a little bit here. It's all good. It'll all be fixed. But this will let me see how this is flipping over a little bit more clearly. And once I get this outer shape right and the curve to my liking, I can go in and start focusing on what I want to do with the shading. Okay. That seems good. All right, let's do some shading. I'm just thinking about how I want to handle that. I'm going to start with the flippy. And I think the way I want to do the flippy is I actually want to take the dark blue and use it for most of it. So I'm just going to color the whole thing that for now. And then I'm going to take this super dark color, the purple that I'm using for some things, and just put a little bit near the edge there. And then there'll probably be a dark gradient here, and I'll make this back end light via gradient too. Okay. That seems perfect for the flippy. The clothes itself, I do not think I want to use this purple anywhere. So I'm just gonna erase that. Now then, I see that I have a hole here that I need to fill in. All of this is still going to be messy. I have not yet done the cleaning. Not even the cleaning of the edge. I've got the basic shape of it dictated. That's about where it will be. But I still gotta fix up the edge itself. But before I do that, I do want to know where the shadows will live. And I'm just gonna clear a bunch of the stuff that I used as a placeholder before. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some dark shadows underneath her belt here. And do I have the wrong color for things? Maybe I do. It's a bit unusual for me to use two lights though, so... Are you not the default color here? You know, I don't even know anymore. What is my default color? It's this, right? Yeah, it's gotta be. This is the light, this is the dark, and this is the very dark. Yes. Okay. Let me go put more default color in, so that's why my brain doesn't get confused again. Let's get it on in there. All right. Now then. I'm gonna put some dark underneath the ribbon. There we go. And I'll put some dark around the trim. And then this is going to be kind of like the sleeve. But right now, I want to do some basic stuff before I get into the complicated stuff. So I'm just going to put the basics down. And I want there to be a little dark area right around the trim. Probably doesn't go all the way up there, because that's where things start getting far away. It's going to be more like this. Perfect. Now then. Next step. I'm going to clear this. Okay. I want there to be a dark color down here. Kind of going up the edge here. And you can see just how not clean any of this is yet. That's okay, it'll get there. All right. Now then. Next, I want there to be some nice folds. Because I feel like I have, well, I guess before then, I want there to be a shadow from the flippy. So there will be a shadow here. I think that's about as dark as it needs to get. I don't need the super dark colors for this. Okay. Now then, I can start adding some nice fold just going all the way across. Where things flap and flip and just look all very interesting. And I need to decide how much, like, wave is actually in the back there. That might actually be important. So I probably wanted to do something a little bit more like this. I think this better illustrates what's going on in my head. Where it's just all very flippy and nice. Okay, and this will tell me exactly where to put the shadows too. Very convenient. Very convenient indeed. All right, let me get the curvature on this looking a little bit better. Okay. Seems good. And I would like to put some lights in here too. Let's put one just right over here. Just going all the way up. This part will still be in shadow. But there can be a nice little highlight right there. Okay. Do I want a nice little highlight anywhere else? I feel like I should. I feel like this could use a little bit more color diversity. I don't think I like it there. No, I lied. It looks great here. Okay. We're good. Sometimes you just gotta try things and be like, oh yeah, no, that's great. Let's do it. Let's do it. Alright, well that took a little bit of finagling, but I think it looks pretty good now. Do I need it to be any more complicated than that? I don't think I do. I think that's fine. Yep, sure is. Okay. So now it is time to make sure that the edge is actually the way that I want it to be. Oh, you're a little bit messy there. Oh, you are not that layer. Ah, I see. No wonder you're a little bit messy there. You're part of the clothes that I just started rendering. Of course you're a little bit messy there. What else would you be? That's exactly why I have to clean this area up, because it's a little bit messy still. Okay. And now it's all good. So now I just gotta get this curve looking good. And before I do any further cleaning, I'm going to do the trim and the flippy. But I just want to get this curve. I just want to get this curve. Just because I feel like it is the most important part here, and having it be wrong was making me sad. I guess it might have made more sense to do it after the trim and the flippy, but, you know, whatever, I'm already here. Just do it. Let's just get it done. Okay, and there's the edge here. I don't really have to worry about anything beyond that because I already know that the fan is done. It will never move from that spot. So I know that everything underneath is not something I have to worry about. And that little dark spot peeking out from underneath there is just the back here. That's something that will be cleared easily when the time comes, but right now, I'm doing a different spot. Just want to get the way this moves in and out looking nice. Get everything accurate to where I put the shadows to. There we go. Looks pretty good. Do I need to do any work down here? Just a little bit. And once again, the border is done, so I know that it will never move from that spot. I can trust that every line that I put here will live there forever. And I think over here looks fine. Is it the right color though? That I'm actually less sure about. It should be like this color. I see, I used a much darker color for that. But I think this color will look better. There. Nah, change my mind. Looks better as the other color. Okay. Oh, there we go. I think that looks good. Let me go ahead and clear the spot here. Okay. Trim. It looks like that might be about as far as I get today, because I think the trim might take me a sec. Stretch. Okay. Well, let's see how much I can do. So I'm going to do kind of a similar thing to what I did here, where I guess this side is going to be kind of pointing this way, and this side is going to be, basically the angle is like this. So it'll probably make more sense when I actually draw it, but I need to get that kind of thing clear in my head before I really decide. And I'm going to get rid of everything that looks frilly. The frills will be added at the end. First, I need to get what the frills are actually going to be attaching to looking nice. I just had placeholder frills there for my own benefit. So I could see where things would be going a little bit more clearly and how all the details on her dress would shake out. Make sure that everything was correct compositionally, basically. But now that I know all those things, I can focus on the accuracy in what I'm drawing. Which means I can just have a simple stripe. Put in some of my perspective lines. And go from there. And let me see, these are all, like, it's flat at the bottom, right? Sure is. Oh, but it's actually a little bit frilly on the bottom of her dress. So I'm gonna have to make this over here frilly. And this. I can do that. Actually, I just realized that I didn't have the back of the dress here drawn in the way that I wanted. I'll put the frills on it later. It's not important yet. What's important right now is trim. What's important right now is this guy that I'm drawing here. I'm going to get it to wrap around her waist here. And I will worry about making it clean right away. Although, wait, no, that's pointless. What am I talking about? There's going to be frills on it. It doesn't need to be clean. This isn't going to be the edge. It's true. If this was actually what it was going to look like, I would focus on making it clean right now. This part should be clean. There's going to be frills everywhere else, so I don't need it to be clean. I just need it to be correct. So why am I zoomed in? Rain, what are you doing? But how thick are you? You're actually quite thin. Yeah, I do think I have a good width there. So I'm going to take a little bit of time getting the thickness right. I do want to make sure that the thickness is right so that this way when I go and add the frills, they will be accurate. I'm trying to convince my brain, no, you do not have to be clean. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But it's like, no, must be clean. Must be. So here, near the end, things twist a little bit. So I actually want it to be even thinner up there. But I think this thickness is pretty good. Does it look to be about as thick as the center part of this? Mostly. I think it might be a little bit thinner in a couple of spots. But yes, I think this is workable. Yeah, and that's a nice curve. Never mind that the flippy is not completely covering everything. That's something I'll fix. Okay, I'm trying to get this curve accurate. It like I said, it doesn't need to be clean. I keep repeating that because my brain. I need to convince myself of that. I need to convince my brain that it is fine. Don't worry about it. We need to be fast, not perfect. And then basically the way this is going to go is we're going to like the frills go like this, whereas down here they're more like, I don't know, like this. Trust me, it makes sense. So up here we'll get a little bit thinner. Not a lot, but a little bit. I want it to be maybe a little bit more than half the size that it is down here. So I think that's accurate. Okay, before I put in lines or frills, I'm going to go ahead and put in the couple of lines that'll kind of help me determine direction and whatnot. So this is going to be very, very close to the edge. In fact, I wouldn't mind putting it like right up next to it. Now, unlike everything else, I want this to be neat. Man, this isn't going to work. Just thinking in terms of my ability here. Oh. I think I'm gonna do the one on the other side first. Basically, what I have pictured in my head is that I'm gonna have the 2 lines out here. This is totally wrong. And then 1 line back here. And that should give me the perspective I want. You know, once they're right. So I guess I'll do the single one on the back first. Man, art, why you gotta be so hard? I want it to be like right up at the edge here. This is probably going to be the hardest part of the whole thing, so I'm pretty okay with knocking it out as soon as possible. You can say I have like no confidence in my strokes here, but I think it's okay. No, from right about here, it's really not. And then I have to remember that the thickness of this line is all over the place. How's it looking so far? Is it looking fairly straight? Yeah, I'd say that's fine. I'd say that's fine. I got this. This one little curve just determines so much, so I want to make sure that I have it in a very good spot. And it's worth taking a little bit of extra time to make sure. Hello there. How many colors do I use? As many as I want. That varies heavily. I mean, I have a style where I try to avoid... Where I basically try to use as few colors as possible. My lowest has been 2, where I literally did the entire thing in 2 colors. Then I have, like, more semi-realistic stuff where I use a ton and do a ton of gradation. And that takes more colors than I could possibly count. And then I have stuff like this where I use like a few colors for each area. Like the clothes here have like what, 5? So that's not really a question that I can answer. I use the amount that each picture needs. I mean, yeah, it's like if you look at my VTuber model, that's also something I drew. True, yes, I do not use palettes. But it's like, yeah, if you look at my model, it has a lot more colors than what I'm doing in here. So, but this probably looks more colorful because I kept the overall palette of my model fairly muted and largely just kept the super bright blue of the hair and the bright orange of the eyes as the main focal point here. Whereas here I'm using lots of shiny pastel colors. Alright, time for pain round 2. Man, and then I'm gonna have to put lines around this. It wasn't so bad on the top one because it was so small, but this one is so long. This one is just so stinking long. This will make it look so much better, so I gotta do it. Life is hard. Alright, here we go. Just gotta go all the way around, but this will help me so much with the perspective of the frills when it comes time to draw them. It's okay, just gotta do this one more time. And then I should be able to get the frills on no problem. Nope, nope. That curved wrong. I'm trying to keep it pretty much parallel to the one over there. Okay, and this is where things are going to get a little bit thinner, so now I want it to start to converge a little bit with the one on the other side. Just a little. There we go. That should be good. Alright, last one. Last one. It's gonna be real close to the one I just did. But this should make the direction that this trim is twisting very, very clear. No. Getting it started is like the hardest part, man. Absolutely not. I'm gonna start it from down here. Okay, that should be good. There. I think that is correct. No, that's no good. My hand just keeps drifting, and it's terrible. I guess I'll try taking it a little bit slower here. Try to compensate for the drifting of my hand. It just keeps getting thicker and then thinner in places, and I can't have that. What I care is about is the space in between the lines. I need it to be fairly consistent all the way through. A little bit of variation is fine. But man, sometimes I was getting a lot. Like here, that's drifting way too far. I'll start drawing on the other side here, and maybe that'll help me get it right. Okay, that should be fine. You wouldn't know that in my early art styles, I did my best to avoid any kind of precision, because I was not very good at it. And now I'm here just putting all the precision in everything I do. I cannot help myself. I think that should be okay. As much as I really want to go up to the other side and start from there, I really should not do that here. Long lines are the bane of my existence. Okay, well, we'll do it the scratchy, unconfident way. It'll be fine. I think I can make it work. I just need to make sure that each line goes where it needs to go. And as much as I'd prefer to do longer lines where I use my elbow because it makes them a little bit smoother, I think I can make this work. God, I am not looking forward to putting lines around this. But I'm pretty sure I did on the part up here, right? Sure did. No, I had you. I see. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna stop what I'm doing immediately. I think I've got enough drawn that I can draw the frills. I misremembered how I did it before. So all is well. I can just go and do some frills now. Okay. Let's go. I just gotta draw some wavy lines and call it good. That angle is no good at all. I need it to follow the curvature of the base of the trim. Very important. Let me just get it on there and then I'll worry about all the little peaks and valleys a bit after. I'll do both sides at once. That's why I don't have to be scrolling back and forth all over the place. So basically the way this is going to work is this side is going to have much thinner frills. And on this side they'll be a little bit thicker because I want it to look like this side is kind of receding into the background. So they will be thinner. They will be thinner. You wouldn't know it now because I drew them too thick, but that's the plan. That is the plan. Alright, and then these guys will be thicker. I'll put another one out here because I think it'll look better like that. Kinda start letting them wrap around here. Thinking noises. I see why I did it like this. But I need something out there. It doesn't quite look like it's wrapping properly. Maybe like this then. Yeah, that works. That'll do. Okay. I was gonna do them both at the same time, but I'm having a little bit of a hard time picturing the perspective, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the ones out here first. And then I know that when I go back and do the other side that I just need to make them thinner than what I did on this side. And that should be fine. Okay. Yeah, these are looking good. It's kind of doing a little bit more of a square pattern instead of a wavy pattern. I think that's a little bit easier to control here. I'm just kind of messily drawing where each frill is coming out, and the fact that it's a little bit messy, I think, actually makes it a little bit more convincing. So I just gotta work my way all the way down. Man, this one really is so much longer than the one on her chest. The one on her chest was like easy mode compared to all this. Man, now I'm worried that I'm too zoomed in and everything is just gonna be too small. Nah, okay, good. All is well. Trying to be fairly clean while I do all this, because I don't want to have to go back and clean all this. I just want it to look fine now. Let's just get it right the first time. Sounds good to me. You know, assuming I can. But I mean, so far so good. I think everything looks pretty good so far. I think everything looks pretty good. I might have to shape the frills a little bit as I go in and shade them, but so far I think this is okay. This area is an area with a lot of movement, so I do want to make sure that I get everything looking fairly nice. Because I think it will catch people's attention. Oh man, doing all this is making my hand cramp though. Oh no. Oh, my poor hand. I'll need to stretch it after stream here. It's okay, I think my kids want to go to the park again, so I'll have plenty of room to stretch out. Plenty of room. And I won't even need to use my hands that much. Alright, there we go. Got some frills. Let's go back and do the other side. I don't like these at all, so I'm gonna erase them. Okay. Now then. Gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm just gonna use this a square pattern. I think it's fine. Doesn't have to be totally uniform or even, and no, this is too large. I need them to be smaller. Because this side is supposed to be coming out towards us, this side is supposed to be kind of moving away from us. So I want them to be smaller than what's on the other side. Even this is still too big, man. I cannot proportion today. Or ever, really, if I'm being honest with myself. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Just keep these ones nice and thin. Nice and thin. Yeah, okay. This is looking correct. This is looking the way that I want it to, and the more that I draw, the more clearly I understand it. So that's always nice. And it does indeed look like it's sloping this way now. So that is exactly what I wanted. Looks like I probably won't be able to shade it today, though. I should probably go in like 5 minutes or so. It's okay, it'll be all ready for Saturday. As tomorrow, I'm gonna play some more Dead Cells, and then Saturday, more drawing. So that should be fun. I've been very much enjoying working on all this. Even if it is making my hand cramp. Jesus. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Hello there, Art. Kind of catching me right at the end here, but it's still good to see you. I'm glad you could drop by. Just hoping to finish up the basic drawing of the frills here, and then I probably have to head out, unfortunately, as much as I would love to finish that. Got stuff to do. Phew. Yeah, this side really is just so much more complicated than what's all going on her chest. Ah, man. Hand cramping so bad. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put the shading I want over here. There we go. The start of the frills has been drawn, and next time, I will shade them properly. But yeah, I got her upper body done, and the arm back there, and everything here is the way I want it. So I'm getting there, and then I can finally go through and add some of the details I've been having hidden the whole time. The little ghosts and all the butterflies. Someday these things will exist again. But I think that this is where I have to stop for today, unfortunately. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.